Hey guys, Rhett here. What is going on? Thanks for watching. I wanted to talk today about challenges. Challenges with Section 8 and specifically how to overcome some of the most common challenges that I see newer investors facing who are doing this without proper guidance. And even some of my clients who do this with proper guidance, but can get a little bit frustrated with the process. And I want to talk to that a little bit because Section 8 is a government program. And number one, being able to weather the delays and the timelines is extremely important. So those of you who are watching right now who are government workers or who have ever done business with the government understand that the government isn't run like a private business. It's not run like Amazon, where you go on your phone and you think about something you want and you type in champagne glasses and immediately there's 75,000 different kinds and you can scroll through it in 5 minutes and find the one you want, hit a button, and it's at your front door in 2 hours. That's not how the government works. The government works the polar opposite to that. They're understaffed. I almost said underfunded, but I mean, a lot of parts of it are underfunded. The parts that we're sending money to that we don't want are the ones that get all the money, and the things that need all the money don't get it. But, you know, especially Section 8, like Section 8 in general is underfunded in my opinion. So I am going to say that this part of HUD is underfunded. And when you think about personnel, you have personnel that I know some phenomenal people who work in Section 8. They need more help. They're understaffed. They don't have the technology they need because it's government. The response times when you have a local housing authority that's trying to get in contact with Washington at the federal level takes time. Every time you blink, it seems like all the Congress people and everybody in DC is on vacation. So it's very hard to get things done. And that is why there's a lot of opportunity in Section 8. But you have to be patient. You have to understand that there's going to be timelines, there's going to be delays, and setting an expectation, being patient is how you're going to overcome that. Understanding, hey, it might take me a little while to get the perfect Section 8 tenant. When I do get them, it might take me a little bit longer to get that inspection done. And that's something we've talked about on the channel before of waiting for those inspections and the importance of those inspections. But that timeline, we're dealing with the government. And what I always say, and I will reiterate this all day long, the time that it takes us to put that Section 8 tenant in that unit, that time period is worth the trade-off. That what seems to be like in some instances long, it's worth it. It's worth the guaranteed rent at the end of the rainbow, which is where we're headed. Now, some housing authorities can get this entire process done in 30 days. Some can't. Some can get the inspection done and the tenant paperwork signed off on, but processing the housing assistance packet might take 60 days. So you have a tenant in there for 2 or 3 months, it's not paying rent. But then as soon as, of course, you get the processed HAP contract or housing assistance packet contract, you get all that back rent. So just going into this, understanding what that timeline is going to look like for you is extremely, extremely important to set those expectations. And that is what we try to do with our clients. That way, if things are running a little bit longer, they know, hey, we're doing everything we have done on our part. This is out of our hands. This is with the government now, and we should be hearing back soon. And when you think about that delay, nobody's winning in that delay. You might have a tenant that's sitting in a housing project or a shelter or on the street or in a bad situation on the couch with their kids in a family member's house or a friend's house. They want to get out of that situation too. So they're doing everything they can to push this thing along to try and get into that unit of yours. So everybody is pushing this thing in the same direction. Now, another challenge to investing in Section 8 is a lot of the markets that have the highest demand for Section 8 are difficult. There is a big learning curve. You're operating in areas where there's poverty, where there might be safety issues, where there's crime problems, where vendors might not be very trustworthy. You know, some markets you can get into markets in parts of Florida and parts of New York and California where you might be able to pick up a phone book and you can close your eyes and put your finger down and choose any contractor, and you might get somebody who's amazing. And you could do that 10 times and get 10 amazing people. In a lot of these areas, it might be a little harder to do that. And that is why it's so important. Same thing with property management. It's so unbelievably important to have a good team. When you're buying houses, choosing the right neighborhoods. In some of these underserved communities, you can have a great zip code, and in that zip code, you can have 4 streets that are very, very dangerous, where people might be dealing drugs, and there might be gangs that control those streets, but 90% of the streets in the other part of the zip code are really good. How are you going to know which streets to avoid? You've got to have boots on the ground that know what that zip code is like, who are talking to tenants constantly, who are saying, hey, I'm not moving over there, or hey, I want to move over here because of this, or I don't want to move over there because of this. That's insight we have. That's insight we have on our teams to make sure that our clients are making the right decisions and buying in the right areas and onboarding houses in the right areas. Making sure we have those teams in place is how we can avoid the difficulty, avoid the learning curve, making sure we're taking advantage of the highest opportunity when getting into these markets. If you're going in blind and you don't have a good quarterback that's telling you what to do and how to operate, you're going to be in for some pain, unfortunately. So very, very difficult in some of these markets, but if you have the right people and the right team, that is a challenge that can absolutely be overcome. And then lastly, it's very, very hard to find the right people to work with and who have a deep understanding of Section 8. And this goes back to the teams aspect of this. Making sure that the people you work with understand how to operate in the niche of Section 8. So there is a ton of paperwork and a ton of communication that needs to be done on your behalf with caseworkers, with tenants. There are deadlines. There are rental increase deadlines. There are HAP contract deadlines. There are assistance packet deadlines. There are deadlines that you have to put people in units before their vouchers expire. There are a lot of moving parts, and it's why a lot of property management companies don't want to deal with it. A lot of good companies, really good property management companies, they don't want to deal with Section 8 because it takes them too much time and they don't make enough money to make it worth it. So a lot of times what they end up doing is they don't want to lose that investor. So they talk them out of investing in Section 8 using the same old stigmas and stereotypes that we've talked about before on the channel. But that is a real life thing, because you think about property management companies who take a piece of the gross rent per month, especially in areas with Section 8 tenants that are most likely renting for a little bit less, right? $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month. They make $100, $150 a month, but they're working 10 hours to get the tenant in there. So they might be making $10 or $15 an hour to put that tenant in the unit, and it's not worth it for them. So you have good companies that stop doing it, which means it's really hard to find good companies that specialize in Section 8 property management, which we do. It's why we created some, because we saw that demand in the marketplace. We saw people wanted that, and we want to make sure that that's available for people, because it helps not only the investor, but it helps those tenants who just want a management company that cares about them, who, when there's an issue at their house, they make a phone call, somebody answers, and they can take care of it. So making sure that, it all goes back to teams, guys. And if you know and you watch videos on the channel, so much of this is about the team. It's so important, especially if you're out of state, if you're out of country as a foreign national, or investing from 1,000 miles away or even 50 miles away if you don't plan on going to the house all the time. You need boots on the ground. You need people that know what they're doing. You need to make sure the decisions that you make and the potential adversity, the challenges that you're going to face are met before you even have to deal with them. And that's going to all come down to who you decide to do it with and what the team is. And of course, guys, as always, if you want to use me and my teams, drop me your information in the description below. All my information's down there. Please, as always, leave me questions, comments, and we'll see you next time.